Hello, Banks Goodell third graders. Today I'm going to be talking to you about a reading standard, RI 3.8. And I'll read to you what that standard says real quick. It says, describe the logical connection between particular sentences and paragraphs in a text. Now, Ms. Bowling has already talked to you about this standard, but she focused on the skill of cause and effect. Today, I'm going to be focusing on the skill of sequence. Okay, so we've talked about sequencing before. When we sequence something, we're putting it in order. Well, when we're reading, it's important for us to be able to understand the sequence of a story for it to make sense. But in this case, we're talking about nonfiction passages. So we're focusing on text that's giving us information about a real topic. Now, there's a lot of different ways that we can see sequencing in nonfiction text. But one way that comes to my mind immediately is when we are reading the directions on how to do something, like maybe if you're making something with Legos and it gives you directions on how to build it. Or my favorite way of using it is in a recipe. So when we are reading text, there are some clue words that we can look for to help us understand the sequence. So some of these key words that we look for are words like first, then, next, before, afterward, later, finally, second, once, meanwhile, soon, lastly. Now, some of these words you're going to find more often when you are reading it in a passage or a paragraph. You'll be looking for these words in the sentences to help you determine what happened first and next, because the author doesn't always share it in the order that it happened. Okay, but in a recipe, and I have two of my favorite snacks here, I have blueberry muffins and brownies. Now, when you find something like this at your house and you look on the back, often there is a recipe telling you how to make it. Now, on this box of brownies, it's listed the steps in order, but it did not put any numbers to help me know the order, okay? It just listed them in the order that I need to do it. On the blueberry muffin package, though, it has numbers next to it, which makes it easy for me to see what was the first step, the second step, the third step. When you are reading, boys and girls, it is so important that you are looking for the sequence. If I were to try to make one of these yummy snacks and I didn't follow the correct sequence, my recipe might come out not so good. And I'm going to be honest with you, Miss Sumners is not the best cook naturally. And so I always use the recipe. And I always look to make sure that I'm doing it in the correct order and using the correct amounts. So when you are reading a nonfiction text, make sure you are looking for those clue words that can help you to know what happened in what order.